Visibility. And the first bullet point is really key. Never, ever lie on a resume. Okay? I'm sure all our integrity is high. I even say don't stretch the truth. You know, I've had a friend of mine and I've tried to coach him. I don't coach him anymore. But I read his resume and I said, did you really do that? No. Then why is it on there? Always make sure your integrity is high. Put down what you've delivered and what you've done and accomplished. It is okay on a resume to say what you're in the process of doing. If you're getting a certification or maybe an MBA or an undergraduate in a new degree outside of IT, that's okay. You know, you could say in the process of obtaining my master's in finance. It's not a lie, you're in the program. So make sure that is key. The general rules, you know, the middle one is very important. Proofread, proofread, proofread. Spelling, grammar. If you're using periods after each bullet point, each sentence, make sure each one has it. Make sure they're all aligned. Some people think, well, yeah, it's okay. I mean, so I forgot a bullet point, so I misspelled a word. It is not okay. I want to be clear. I personally, so this is bad, I personally am one of those individuals who doesn't care. And I'll tell you, I do not care. But when I'm in the interview cycle and there's 10 of my peers and we all come together and we say, okay, we interviewed somebody for this vice president of infrastructure. What do you think? So we start to talk. There's going to be at least half of them that say, did you see his resume or her resume? I said, yeah. Did you notice that they had a spelling error? I didn't, but other people do. So I do recommend for the resume, and I'm not pushing this and I don't have any names to give out, but either use another organization to help you or work with your friends, family, and peers to read it. And always read it aloud, because you'll hear what it says. And sometimes you think that it sounds like a great sentence until you read it. And make sure you do that. So number one is the resume. The resume is the door opener. If you don't have this correct, I hate to say it, unless you're networking, you probably won't be able to get the interview. Next is networking. So I have a resume. That's great. The networking is very key. I'd have to tell you, for me, all the jobs that I showed you, I did not pursue one of them. What I mean by that is I didn't get my resume and says it's time for me to get a job. Let me send them out. Let me go to recruiters. Let me look on job ads or job banks. I gave in a call. Are you interested? Well, usually the way they do it, Jason, do you know anybody who would like this position? Of course, they know they're setting me up. Really? What is it? Maybe me. And of course, that's how we get it. So the network is very critical. And there are different steps here. First, smart networking. I think right here is good smart networking. People who think the same. People who are in the IT community. Now, one thing I would challenge you here, and I'll just jump over to the groups, which are kind of special interest groups. Are there, in Atlanta, and I don't know the answer to this, so maybe someone can answer, are there other Atlanta Chinese associations? Are there finance ones? Are there CEO ones? Are there entrepreneurial ones, where these are people who are coming in just entrepreneurs? If the answer is yes, then you need to reach out to them. They need IT help. So I think you need to continue to network, not only from smart networking, but what groups you're attacking. Clearly, job forums, I think, are excellent. I think it gives you experience talking to people who are looking for people. Some people say to me, you know, I'm not going to go to a job forum. I never get anything, and statistically, they're correct. The probability of getting a job at a job forum is low. But what it gives you is one of the most important things. It gives you experience. So what do you mean experience, Jason? Interviewing experience. Talking about yourself experience, which is very critical and important. It's difficult for people and me to boast how good we are. You know how good you are. But I don't want to sit here and come out and say, wow, I am the best in the world because I am a programmer that does this, this, and this. It's an art. It's practice. It's a technique. So clearly going to job forums give you that skills. Did you ever go on a job interview one that you researched beforehand. A company like UPS, they're looking for a project manager. I would be perfect. I'm nervous. The resume's in there. I'm ready to meet with that vice president to tell him what I can do. I get in the interview, and the first thing he asks me is, tell me about yourself. Okay, I'm a project manager with Recall. Okay, Jason, so tell me some of your accomplishments. I delivered for my company. You only have one shot, and I leave there going, I blew it, I wanted to work for UPS, they don't even know what I do. If you go to job forums, they're going to ask you these questions, and you're going to practice. That's the only way. We don't go on job interviews every day, every week. I'm sure if I ask you, if you're a project manager, a business analyst, an infrastructure ops person, if I ask you something about your current role, we can go out to lunch, dinner, and you're going to tell me for 8 hours. But you don't often go out to sell yourself on what your skills are and where you're going. Articles. Best way to find jobs is reading articles. If anybody read about Recall, you will know that I just actually approved my 5-year IT strategy with the board. I'm doing not an ERP package, I'm doing SOA. I have a services-oriented architecture plan. We're going to be doing best of breed, and I'm looking at this point for .NET developers. Probably nobody knew that. But if you read the articles coming out of the trade magazines, you might and say, I'm a .NET developer. Wow, they just have a 5-year plan investment. So using articles and people's